India has just crossed a historic energy milestone. As of 31st July 2026, India's non-fossil fuel power capacity has reached 300.5 gigawatts. That means India has already completed more than 60% of its 500 gigawatt clean energy target for 2030. But how significant is this achievement? And can India add the remaining around 199.5 gigawatts within the next 4.5 years? Let's understand this complete story through numbers. But before we do that, Investyadnya is offering 60% discount on its model portfolios through the coupon code RED, R-E-D. So do check our website. India currently has approximately 552 gigawatts of total installed electricity capacity. Out of this, more than 54% comes from non-fossil fuel sources. The biggest contributor is solar power. India's solar capacity has reached 164.59 gigawatts, accounting for nearly 55% of the entire non-fossil portfolio. This transformation is huge. India had only 2.8 gigawatts of solar capacity in 2014, and now it's 164.59 gigawatts. In just 12 years, solar capacity has increased by nearly 59 times. Wind power is the second major pillar, with capacity reaching 58.14 gigawatts compared to only 21 gigawatts in 2014. That is nearly an increase of 177%. India also has 57.24 gigawatts of large and small hydropower, 11.75 gigawatts of biopower, 8.78 gigawatts of nuclear power. Together, these sources have taken India beyond the historic 300 gigawatt mark. But the biggest acceleration happened during the financial year 2025-26. India added a record 55.29 gigawatts of non-fossil capacity in just one financial year. Out of this, solar contributed 44.6 gigawatts, wind contributed 6 gigawatts, other non-fossil sources contributed approximately 4.7 gigawatts. Solar alone accounted for more than 80% of the total capacity added during this year. Now comes the most important calculation. To achieve 500 gigawatts by 2030, India must add another 199.5 gigawatts. This requires an average addition of roughly 45 gigawatts every year until the end of 2030. India added 55.29 gigawatts in FY 2025-26. Therefore, if the country can maintain even close to the current installation speed, the 500 gigawatt target looks achievable. But there is one critical distinction investors and consumers must understand. The installed capacity is not the same as actual electricity generation. Solar power is available mainly during the daylight hours, while the wind generation depends on weather conditions. Coal, nuclear and hydropower plants can generally provide more consistent electricity. Therefore, even though non-fossil sources represent more than 54% of installed capacity, this does not mean that they are already supplying 54% of India's electricity. India will need massive investment in battery storage, pumped storage projects, transmission infrastructure, smart grids, round-the-clock renewable power systems. Without sufficient storage and transmission capacity, adding solar panels alone will not guarantee a reliable electricity supply. But before we go ahead, let me ask you something that directly impacts your pocket. India is going to invest lakhs of crores in renewable energy, transmission and storage. So what do you think? Will your electricity bill be lower or higher in 2030 than it is today? Comment lower or higher and also tell me why you think so. So let's move ahead. The improvement in actual renewable generation is clearly visible. India's renewable electricity generation increased from 190.96 billion units in FY 2014-15 to 477.79 billion units in FY 2025-26. That is an increase of approximately 287 billion units or more than 150%. Another major development is India's domestic solar manufacturing ecosystem. The manufacturing capacity enlisted under the approved list of models and manufacturers has crossed 200 gigawatts. In 2014, it was only 2.3 gigawatts. That represents a nearly 87 times expansion. This matters because India's clean energy strategy is not only about reducing carbon emissions. Domestic production of solar modules can reduce dependence on imported equipment, improve energy security, create manufacturing jobs, support exports, protect India from global supply chain disruptions. The next growth engine could be green hydrogen. Through the National Green Hydrogen Mission, India wants to use renewable electricity to decarbonize sectors such as steel, fertilizers, refineries, shipping, and heavy transportation. Therefore, the 300 gigawatt milestone is much bigger than a power sector achievement. It represents the convergence of India's climate goals, manufacturing ambitions, energy security, and industrial competitiveness. The conclusion is clear. India has crossed 300.5 gigawatts, but the journey is only 60% complete. The remaining 199.5 gigawatts will be more challenging because India must build generation capacity, storage, transmission, and domestic supply chains simultaneously. Reaching 500 gigawatts is possible, but the real measure of success will not be how many gigawatts India installs. It will be how reliably, affordably, and domestically India can convert these gigawatts into electricity. India's clean energy revolution has achieved scale. Now it must achieve stability, reliability, and economic value. So before we wrap up, did you like this voiceover format? If so, do let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please hit the like button as it helps us reach more viewers. Do subscribe and be a part of the Yadnya family and press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any videos coming from the channel. So see you in another video. Until then, happy investing.